Thank you. Janice Kelly. Oh, she's been in Boulder all this time and we didn't know. You were the music director at Unity of Boulder?
Sacramento, Christ Unity in Sacramento, California.
Welcome to Colorado. 3 times with me, there is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. So, over the last month, we've had this experience of, we were working with the book E Squared, and we had this experience of doing all these really wonderful experiments that were geared around sort of building our faith and building our trust and allowing us to see some expansion and how the rules of the universe work. That what we focus on increases in our experience, and what we're looking for we find, and all that sort of stuff. So this month, we're going to take all that one step further, and we're going to take it to the bank, like literally. It's this interesting place we find. Once a year, we talk about, well, actually, let me take that back. I talk about prosperity and abundance and the amazingness of life all of the time and all year. And once a year, we bring that just to here's the money part of the conversation. And the spiritual practices and principles around giving and receiving and growing our ability to receive and to live in abundance and to really know that as our true nature. And once a year, we ask you to make a commitment to your own growth and your own spiritual practice by giving to the place where you are spiritually fed, which, of course, I believe is here. So when I look back so we're going to talk about all this stuff for a few weeks. When I look back on my messages over the last several years, I have come to realize that I have done you all a little bit of a disservice. I have tried very hard to soft pedal it and to make it really easy and to say, oh, it's okay. I'm going to tell you that meditation will change your life. I'm going to tell you that affirmations will change your life. I'm going to tell you that taking classes here will change your life. But when it comes to talking about tithing as a spiritual practice, I'm going to tell you, oh, it's okay, take it easy. Instead of just telling you that tithing will change your life. Tithing will change your life. And here's the thing, it's a practice that I totally believe in. It's a practice I've been practicing for years, and that every good teacher I know also practices. Now, interestingly, what's happened over this few years is growth for some people in the center, and very often there's this interesting thing that happens. The first week that I say that I'm going to have this conversation with you, there are a number of you that will not come for the next few weeks. And you will find a way to tell yourself that I am trying, or we as a church are trying to take something from you. And that's how you'll tell yourself that story. And here's what I want to say to you, a couple of things. One is that I'm going to be direct, but I have a lot of compassion about this. I have been in every financial place there is to be in my experience. I have been broke. I have been in a place where I felt like it was just flowing all over me and I could do all the things that I wanted to do, and I have been everywhere in between. But when I look at this last few years, I realize that I am guilty of something that I am going to call shallow-osophy, which was an early form of Greek philosophy that never really took off. Because it never really worked for anyone. Shallow-osophy is not the practice here. So this year, we are halfway through with a group of people this Prosperity Plus program by Mary Morrissey, who's an incredible abundance teacher. And I've been doing that along with the class. And one of the things I love about her teaching is that she's very direct and very clear. And I remember that the first year that I was here and did this month, I was very direct and very clear, and some people went away for the month, and I thought, oh, I have to fix that. and I have to soften it to keep people here and to keep people from running away. And here's what I know today. That I am really here to teach principle and practice and spiritual law as I have come to understand it. And I have no control over how you choose to receive that or respond to it. And I prefer direct and clear. I do that in everything else. If you come to see me in my office during the week because you want to have some counseling, we talk as a practitioner, as the group of practitioners. I'm like, people come to you when they want prayer and softness and kindness, and they come to me when they want me to be direct, because that's who I am. When you're ready to hear the direct message, you come to my door. So that's what we're going to do. And and I'm just going to ask you to, if it's a thing for you and you're wanting right now, you're squirming in your seat and you're wishing that you had not come today, even to just take a breath right now. Doesn't that feel good? Meditation, it feels good. All of these practices, they feel good, and trust me, this one does too. So I have been, since I finished these squared and overlapping, because I try to read more, I have to read more than one book at a time these days to stay ahead of you. I have been reading nothing but prosperity teachers over the last several weeks, and my commitment for this month is to kind of immerse myself in that. So I've found some old ones that people have recommended through the Minister's Listserv, and I'm sort of really diving into this in a really big way. And we're going to talk over this next month about how we think about money and our personal idea of abundance, and we're going to talk about how we interact with money and how we grow our consciousness about money and how we choose to share it and how the universe responds to that. And if right now you just wish I'd stop saying the word money, I'd ask you to just sit with that irritation and ask yourself why that bothers you. You know, you're already starting a mental chatter maybe of, oh, ministers, all they want is your money. And that's not actually really it. What I want for you, what my prayer for you is that always, all the time, that you experience and express all of that life has to offer for you. All of the joy and all of the freedom and all of the love that comes from living a truly abundant life as defined by you. And I know that it is hard to express that freedom and that joy when you are scared and worried about money. I have been in that place. And I know that it is the thing that sits in the back of your brain and eats at you all the time. If you're out with your friends, you're trying to, you're out to dinner, and what you're worried about is how much you're spending and not being present with the people that you are with and enjoying that time. That I want you to experience total financial freedom as defined by you in your life, which means freedom from fear and worry and freedom from the idea and the falsity of lack. And here's what I'm going to ask you to try on for this month, and then keep it if you would like. I want you to abandon your belief in lack, limitation, and deprivation. Just let it go. And how would that feel? Take that breath. You can tell how that would feel, because if you take a breath, it feels the same way. So let's begin with a very simple premise, that we are the activity of God in the world. We can all agree on that, right? Here? We're all on that page, generally speaking. We are the activity of God in the world. And so if you take a metaphysical look, even at Genesis, the creation story, it says that God's Spirit thought upon itself and created the heavens and the earth and all that it contains, out of itself and its thought. And we are created in the image and likeness of God. As above, so below. Hebrews 11 in the Revised Standard Edition says, now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. For by it the men of old received a divine approval. By faith we understand that the world was created by the word of God, so that what is seen was made out of things which do not appear. All that is out there in the world, whether you can see it or not, is available for your experience and expression. It is calling you forward into that greater place within you that wants to express creatively in the world. and to give the gift that you came here by divine appointment to be on this planet at this time and to give. You have a gift. If life and consciousness is about the upward and outward expansion, which leads to deeper connection with God and leads to deeper connection with each other, then that upward expansion and outward expansion of life also has to include our money. Because money is this interesting thing. We give it so much energy and so much, like we will freely, we can apply abundance principles to almost everything in our life. Really easy, from apples to watermelon, except for our money for some reason. It's like the holdout thing. And most of the money masters will tell you that how you do money, how you think about money, how you handle your money, how you manage your money, how you interact with it and give it is kind of a reflection of how you do everything in your life. Are you holding on and hoarding? Are you afraid and holding on? And if you're afraid and holding on where money is concerned, how many other places in your life are you afraid and holding on? Instead of allowing this allness of God to just freely move through you in whatever way that is called to you. All of the money teachers talk about how this thing that we do with money is a direct reflection of the bigness of our faith. And that applies to our debt as well. Some of us have had that, experienced that. Some of us have it now. Debt is a reflection of our lack of faith in the universe. And I'm talking about debt for items that depreciate in value. It's not this. We're not talking about your home. But if our thoughts and our words are how we create, then the message of I am charging it because I can't afford it reinforces the message of I can't afford it, and it says that I don't believe that the universe will bring this into my experience fast enough for me or well enough for me, so I have to go get it. And I will be in debt to have it. And that's one of those things where money eats at us. And I started thinking about it, and I was like, that seems to me to kind of explain the debt spiral. I know that when I had the experience of debt in my life, it was like I started to go down that road, and that road got really wide really fast. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Without shame, okay? It just grows on you. And I think when I really sat and thought about it yesterday, I was like, it's because when we're in debt, all we think about is the fact that we're in debt. And so it grows, and we spend all of our time thinking about it, which means that we're drawing more of that experience into our life. And so I would say this to you. First of all, if you have debt, forgive yourself and let it go. Let that part go. And then make a plan. Make a plan where you are going to take care of it in a way that you can live reasonably right now so that you can take care of that debt and you can stop focusing on that as your current circumstance, and you can look up from that and move forward and begin to focus on what it is that you are wanting to create. And don't call it your get out of debt plan, because that's focused on debt. Call it your financial freedom plan. Because what I've learned in my life is that when you get out of that, it is really freeing in so many emotional, visceral ways. And how much could we accomplish as a group of financially free people together? How much could we accomplish as a group of financially free people? So how do you talk to yourself about money? Do those old messages about it being evil, which it is not. It's the love of money. And what that means is it's that when you spend all of your time focused on money and the creation of money and not focused on God. Focused on God, one of the side effects of that is that money flows easily and effortlessly through your life. When we stay focused on God and when we stay focused on good. But when we get all focused on money, that's where things get wonky. But do those old messages about lack make you want to hold on really tight? There's an old line from a Barbra Streisand movie. I know. I love Barbra Streisand. But anyway, she says, money is like manure. It's only good if you spread it around. And it's true. Think about that. Like money, we give it this like incredible energy, and really it's just like manure. It's like anything else in the world. You spread it around, it does good. Money is this medium of energy that we've chosen as a tool of exchange. That's all it is. And it only has the power that we give it. It is, and so have we given it power over us? Or have we given the power of our thought, do we have the power of our thought over it? Now, Ernest Holmes wrote, "Life at the center of your being is a silent power." This is a really good passage, by the way, so. Life at the center of your being is a silent power. It comes to you as feeling, as conviction, as an inward awareness. Whenever you speak from this inward awareness, consciously recognizing that all of the power that there is flowing through your words, then you endow your words with great power. You should take time daily to rise above any sense of confusion. As you do this, you will feel a stillness at the center of your being. You will feel the power moving out into action in everything you think, and have absolute faith that it will do this and you will not be disappointed. You are not entering into this silent place for the purpose of asking the law of life to be power. It already is power. You are recognizing this power and permitting it to flow into action through your word. And just what is meant by your word, it means your conscious intention, your conscious direction, your conscious faith and acceptance. Because of what you are doing, the power will flow through your word in the direction that you give it. Whenever you speak from this inward awareness, consciously recognizing that all the power there is flowing through your words, then you endow your words with great power. So what is it that you want to create next? Not what is it that you're in right now. You know, you've created the life that you're having. You don't have any choice about that. We have no choice about creation. We're creating no matter whether we like it or not. So here we are, we've created this life. And if, you know, your choice in the matter is not about whether or not you're creating, your choice is on deciding and focusing on the life that you want to have, or to focusing on the life that you don't really want to have. And while many of us are already having, because we've been coming to CCSL for a long time and we've got some of these principles down, or many of us, some of us have a lot of them down, we like the life that we've created. But if life is an ever upward and outward expansion of thought and consciousness, and truth and trust and faith, then there is expansion available even when we already like where we are. And the thing is, when we already like where we are, sometimes we kind of sit in that and we love it for a little while, and then there's something that pulls us deeper and taller. All at the same time, there is that something that comes from within that says, you are, you know, you're doing awesome, and you can be awesomer. It's my other new word. Shallowosophy and awesomer. Yes, we get that divine discontent running that gets us remembering that we are actually people who are made to be in constant motion. We are not made to sit and be still all the time. We are made to sit and be still for the hour a day that I know you all meditate, but we are not made to stay there like the guru on the hill forever. So this week I'm going to give you 2 assignments this week, actually. Some of you have 3. The first, I'm going to ask you to create a financial freedom vision. What does your life look like if you are completely financially free? I want you to make a list of 10 things that you want to see or do or experience without any thought to the cost or the how, and bring that list with you next week. Just make a list. Just sit and dream. What would you do or be or have or experience in life if you weren't thinking about all the other stuff? The second assignment is for those who have debt. Make a plan. Just make a plan. And then put it aside. Follow your plan and put the thoughts about that aside so that you can focus on the financial freedom that you want to experience. The third assignment is that during the offering this morning, we're going to hand out our pledge forms for the coming 12 months, starting November 1st, and I don't want you to fill it out today, unless you're going to run away and not come back to me next week. But what I would really like, and what I ask every year, is that we each take those home and we take them into prayer. and we spend some time in contemplation about what it is that we experience here, what it is that our